All right, hello traders, and welcome back to the second video in our series of placing your first trade. My name is Scott Beck. I am the head trading coach here for the Market Watch Group. Very excited to have you. You're clearly committed to getting this first trade right, and I commend you for that. This is all about making sure that every T has been crossed, every I is dotted, every loose end is tied, and you feel good about the process that you're building. If you want to be an options trader, you got to start with stock, right? You cannot trade options or a derivative of stock. You got to start with stock. If you want to be a stock trader, then you want to be the best stock trader you can. What we're doing here is we're going to go through from start to finish every step you need to place your first trade competently. So without further ado, let's dive in. We'll talk about the agenda for today. First and foremost, as always, disclaimers. Remember that we are not brokers. We're not advisors. We don't provide recommendation nor guidance. Everything we do as a group is for illustrative and educational purposes only. Make sure you're taking personal accountability with all of your trades. Now, with that in mind, we started off just putting a little bit of a foundation into place. You've picked your account. You have established your trading platform with your new broker. Hopefully you have gotten your paper trading account set up. Now, with all of that in place, you're ready to start thinking about the first trade. But trade what? What are you going to trade? This is one of the classic shortcomings that many new traders have, is how do I identify what stock makes sense? Now, keep in mind, we have a lot of things for you. Let's walk through this, and then we'll dive into the platform, Discord, and see it together. First and foremost, it's all about how do we find stocks to trade? We'll use the group watch list. We work on it together as a group. As a group, we cultivate and curate a watch list that is chock full of high liquidity, market-leading stocks from the strongest sectors in the market at any given time. You cannot ask for more than that. That's a great place to start. Now, as you pick your stocks, one of the things you're going to have to start to do is develop a skill in technical analysis, that is reading charts. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the need to develop rules for analysis. How do I decide if it's strong? How do I decide if it's a setup, a trigger? How do I use technical analysis to help me determine these things? I need to start developing trading rules. So we're going to talk about the beginnings of those trading rules. We want to also talk about the impact of market posture, right? Every week we go through and we forecast the market. We make sure that we understand what conditions are we in and how are those conditions going to impact what we're trading. So as you choose a stock, the way you forecast the market's going to have a role. The last thing we want to do is talk a little bit about our bullish trading philosophy. It's better to be bullish. There's an old saying, everybody's a genius in a bull market. Let's prove that to be true. Okay, so without further ado, knowing what we're going to do, let's dive into the platform and Discord and see what's in store for us today. Okay, now as we move forward into the meat of this second video, helping you choose a stock to trade, the first thing is you're not alone. We want you to realize that you are piggybacking off of the work that we do as a group from week to week in our market posture. Remember that in our market posture, we do a sector rotation where we are identifying which are the strongest sectors in the market at any given time. So for example, right now, we've been liking technology, communication services. Now we've seen a surge in financials and industrials and consumer discretionary. Now, if you watch this video 2 months from now, 6 months from now, you don't even know when this video was. It doesn't matter. That's not what's important. What's important is, what are the strong sectors now? How would you know? We talk about it every week. And then based on that, we go through and we search those and we find the strongest stocks in each of the subgroups. Remember, it goes sector, then industry group, then stock. We find best in breed, the best stocks in the leading groups, in the leading sectors. That's our watch list. That's what we have. Strong, highly liquid, ready to trade anytime we see a signal. That's it. More than that, remember, when it comes to finding a stock to trade, we're going to give it to you. Now we've just started moving it. It's going to be here in the trade alerts. Let me circle this so you can see it's going to be here. But as we've just created that channel, let me show you what an alert looks like. Here is this was a stock alert right here. This came out and you can see we give you the symbol. We give you an entry level. We give you a stop range. We give you target levels. We give you time in the trade. This was about a 2.5 to 1 reward to risk ratio. The trade is there. So even if you're paper trading, we're going to hold your hand. The biggest thing is just to do it. Whether you take your own that you build from our watch list, whether you take a trade that we build 100% and hand to you, the fact is you should, at this point, as you're watching this video, you should have your account open. So you should have selected your broker. You should have your account open. You should have downloaded the trading platform. And I would say watched a tutorial or two on them walking you through a trade. Now, I will walk through placing a trade on the Thinkorswim platform. I would always recommend, number one, watching a tutorial of your own. Number two, having a conversation with the broker. That's what they're there for. I'm not licensed. I'm not a broker. I'm not here to give you guidance. That's their job. Make them earn their money. Give them a call. Tell them what you're doing. They'll walk you through. Make sure that you feel comfortable on the platform side. Right? There should be no impediments to you in placing the trade. So make sure you utilize the Market Watch Group watch list. Now, when it comes to placing the trade, one of the things we're going to be helping you work on and working on in your rules is exactly that, trading rules, where we start to talk about, well, what makes a good trade? So let's take a quick second and talk about that. First and foremost, what we're talking about here is technical analysis, which plainly put is reading charts. We are focusing on price action to be our visual representation of supply and demand, buyers and sellers. Now we're here. You'll notice I'm in the stock American Express. What kind of a company is that? It's credit. That's the industry group, credit card. In the broader sector of financials. Now remember we said, hey, we like financials. We think financials is showing some momentum. Well, this does too. You can see that overall trend is up. Moving average is moving up. We just made the highest high and now is pulling back to what we would expect to be a higher low. So already most of the trade is here. It's set up. We're going to talk about this, but our bullish philosophy is very simple. Find a bull market, buy the dips. That's a swing trader's philosophy. We look to trade it after the dip, ride it up, get out, let it fall back down, wait for it to stabilize, buy it, ride it up, because that's the trend. That's what we're looking for. It just made a ride up. Now it's pulling back, and we're thinking when this is done, pulling back, is it done? No. No, it doesn't look like it's done. Looks like it's still in the midst of the pullback. Okay, we'll be patient. We'll wait for it. We'll wait for it, and then we'll catch the next one. So what are we doing here? We're starting to talk about rules for analysis, and that's what we're going to help you do, is develop trading rules. Section 3 of your trading plan. Now, you might be thinking, what trading plan? Well, remember, you should be coming in, and you should have your downloads, and you should be getting your trading plan outline. You should be keeping a market posture. There's your log. You should have a stock log to keep records with. You need one of each of these right here. So all of these are resources for you. Then you can come over here to your trading resources, and you can see everything that we use, plus our content library and our YouTube channel. So when you come into the content library, we're going to teach you about how do you read the chart. I can't teach that to you right now in 10 minutes, but we have a series of videos ready for you that teaches you how to read charts and understand support and resistance and what is an oscillator and how do I turn that into an entry. And in the meantime, you can take the trades that we're building and you can see, what does the chart look like when they give me a signal, so that I can be like, oh, yes, it's all here. It's all connected. Once again, what's the first thing to do? Start trading. You have all the account. Now we just start. Whether it's your own trade or one of our trades or a blend, do it all. The more you trade, the more you'll learn, the more experience you're going to get. Now, remember that a lot of what we do is impacted by our current market posture. At the time of filming this video, I'm going to bring it over real quickly. Our market posture is and has been bullish and has been for several months. So that's going to impact. Yeah, we can pick from a variety of sectors. If our market posture was a 1 or a 2, we would be much, much more discriminate. We would trade different strategies. We would take different levels of risk. So our trading rules, first and foremost, recognize that market conditions, first and foremost, dictate how we need to trade. So yes, we want to be bullish, and we hope we can find those bull markets and buy the dips. But if the market goes into a correction, we're going to be patient and we're going to wait. So what's next? You should now have at least an alert that's a couple of days old or a new one coming. You should have the opportunity list from your most recent email. Go in there. That's going to be a focused list of 8 to 15 stocks coming directly from our group watch list, and you have the group watch list. Anywhere in there is something where if you look at it and say, I think that's a trade, great, pull the trigger. Do that, learn from it, then start over and do it again. That's it. Now what? Now we keep moving. Let's get ready to move on in this video series. Okay, and now that we've wrapped up the meat of the presentation, let's talk about next steps. No matter what it is we do or learn, there's always one thing that we want to think about. Now what? Now what? What should I do next? Well, first and foremost, we want you to keep watching the videos in the series. Now that we've selected a stock to trade, the next thing we need to do is start preparing to take that trade. In the next video, we'll walk through all of those preparations. Stops, targets, time frames, reward to risk, position size, all the logistics of the trade will be handled in that preparation stage. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to create your own potential watch list. Start with ours. You can go in and find the most recent version and build your own watch list. If you have a few favorites, add it to the watch list. Anything that you think, I might want to trade this someday, put it on the watch list. That makes sense. I want you to start practicing reading and analyzing charts, finding the trend and identifying it, identifying support and resistance, thinking about the candlesticks, understanding what indicators you're going to put on your chart and how they're going to influence your decisions. And then I want you to start thinking about your trading rules. This is section 3 from your trading plan template, right? Rules of execution, setup, entry, trigger, target price, stop loss, trade management techniques. All of that's going to be implemented into that. Let's start taking these next steps now so that as we get closer to the end of the video series, you're not just ready for this trade, but for the next one and the next one and the next one. And with that in mind, thank you very much for coming out, for giving me your time and attention for this video series. Give me your feedback. I will have the ability to make some adaptations to this as we go along, but join me for the next video, preparing for the next trade, preparing for the trade. And as always, happy trading.